Yeah, there was something that I wrote a few years ago. Um, I only wrote about it once actually, and I don't I am not an expert about the Middle East, but it seemed to me that it would be a good place to have things like solar panels, you know, solar energy, and museums and schools. You know, it seemed to me that it would be a good place for those things. I don't know. I don't know what kind of economy you could replace oil with. You know, that's the thing. It seems like um, there are a number of situations where there's this kind of mono economy, right? So if you don't have that anymore, then what do you replace it with? And yet it seems that it seems to me that it just thinking about it geographically and even historically, it would be a good place for all of those things that I just mentioned. You know, and I think it would do a lot to counter the Western stereotype of Muslims as all being a bunch of animals. Which you have to be honest, that's the stereotype. That is the stereotype um, that the United States has had for years and years and years, and never worried about it. Never worried about it at all. Um, and I think it's certainly not all a result of that stereotype that we now have a number of Muslims who are acting like animals. But I think it certainly contributed um, to the lack of concern from those people towards people in the West. So it was, and I am certainly no expert about the Middle East in any way, but it did occur to me, and I wrote something about it just one time. I wrote about it. It was a few years ago. I think it was at one of my WordPress blogs. Just sort of a theory, you know, that it would be a good place for those things, um, and to have kind of an international agreement that it's a place where a lot of effort should be made to restore and keep the peace. And I know that those are pretty loaded words. I know that they are, but I'm thinking in terms of like a real peace, um, a place that is peaceful, you know, and perhaps not a place where people are making a lot of money every day, but valuable anyway in those other ways. And I suppose tourism um, could be a source of money also once it got to be a more peaceful place. Although I would hope it would be a healthy kind of tourism, you know, not the kind of tourism where you have sex trafficking and other types of crime, um, and people who actually live there being exploited, which is the way it is, you know, just kind of all over the world, unfortunately.